Don't you just hate it when controversy ruins a team and basically they have to wear it, as the people say? I mean, the the St. Louis Cardinals, even though they've won championship since 1985, still are better over the Dakinger call. When Don Dakinger called Jorge Orta safe in the ninth inning of Game 6, in which the Cardinals needed to win that game to win the World Series. And then it snowballed into a Jack Clark missed play pop up, a pass ball by Daryl Porter, some and a terrible and throw. For for hockey, it's got to be the bitterness of LA. They'll always be remembered for having Marty McSorley with the illegal stick, which cost the Kings the Stanley Cup final, if I could be honest with you. For football, you have to wear it. It's the LA Rams when they went to the Super Bowl in 2019 when they had that phantom pass interference call not called, in which it would have helped the Saints probably make the Super Bowl and have a Breeze versus Brady matchup. For basketball, this team has had terrible calls against them. In Game 6 in Los Angeles, all they needed to do was win against the Lakers, and they were going to the 2002 NBA Finals. I think with those clues, you can tell who I'm doing for this, but I'm going to be doing the Sacramento Kings and the 2001-2002 season, in which it ended also terribly. We're playing basketball sims. We're playing basketball sims. He's playing what if NBA? Cutter's doing what if NBA? Yeah. Oh, all the teams around the world got to know that the Raptors are number one. But what about the Bulls, Wizards, and Pistons? They all have great what ifs. What is stories about old teams like the Kansas City Kings and maybe even the Minneapolis Lakers. But we all know we're gonna do some basketball. He's doing basketball. He's doing basketball. What ifs? Cutter's doing what if NBA? So what if NBA? So the Kings franchise didn't start off in Sacramento. It started off life in Cincy as a team called the Cincinnati Royals. Yeah, Cincinnati had basketball for a while in the 50s and 60s. That's where the big old Oscar Robertson got his start and all that. Cincy just couldn't afford it, and lo and behold, they traded away that to the city of Kansas City. If I'm correct, I might be wrong here. The trajectory. Oh, the trajectory is kind of wrong because Rochester had the team from 1948 to 1957. Then Cincy had the team from 57 to 72, and then we go back to Sacramento. Okay, I had to check my source. Yeah, and then Kansas City ended up getting the team, but they were called the Kansas City Omaha Kings because they split games between Kansas City and Omaha, Nebraska, which is kind of weird how you have a name like that and you split games. Well, and the two cities weren't even in the same state. Kansas City would own the team permanently until from 1975 on. They were called the Kansas City Kings, not the Kansas City Omaha Kings. Unfortunately, Kansas City lost the team, supposedly due to the popularity of indoor soccer and how the city, Kansas City, fawned over their team more so than um, their basketball team. Nevertheless, Kansas City sold the team off, and Sacramento decided to take it to Northern California, despite the fact that LA, Golden State, and well, the Lakers, Golden State, and the Clippers were making California proud. So you have four basketball franchises in the same state. Sacramento took to their team a little bit, but unfortunately, though, they weren't really that great on the court and all that. In 1991, their star player, I can't remember his name. Well, he actually missed 2 games because he was playing Tetris too much. And it's been risks. Sacramento was not really known for its winning and all that. They have had some great strides. In 2006, they made the playoffs, and then for 17 years, they never made the playoffs. That was kind of shocking and all that. How Sacramento just can't make the playoffs. I know the intro is going to be a little bit short, in a sense, to the franchise, but I can't say too much about Sacramento. I mean, a lot of the stars were aligned in the 2000s, and I talk about it more in 2002, but I mean, yeah. That's how it goes sometimes. So anyway, let's take a look at the 2002 Sacramento Kings. 2002 Sacramento Kings. This was their 33rd, 53rd season as a franchise and 17th in Sacramento. The Kings picked up Mike Bibby from the Grizzlies after the Grizzlies moved to Memphis. Chris Webber had to miss a lot of time due to an ankle injury. The Sacramento Kings were 17 and 5 to start and posted a 12-game winning streak between December and January, and they were 37 and 12. So anyway, the team would actually win 61 games, the best record in the NBA, which was shocking. It wasn't the Lakers. It was the first time they won the division since 1979 when they were in Kansas City, and the first time they made a conference final in 21 years. And yes, I will be doing the 1981 Kansas City Kings as a whatever. And anyway, C. Webb did fantastic. He was part of the All NBA second team, despite the fact he only played 54 games. Pedro Stojakovic was there. Mike Bibby looked good. Doug Christie, Fly Divac, and Hader Turkoglu. Weber and Stojakovic went to the All Star game. Bobby Jackson was second in Sixth Man of the Year voting. That means best player off the bench. And Rick Adelman was second for coach. So anyway, Sacramento took care of the Utah Jazz in the first round, and then took care of Dallas in the conference semis. And then they would make the Western Final against the LA Lakers, the two-time defending champion LA Lakers, who ended up being the 3 seed. Kobe and Shaq were around that. The Kings would be up 3 games to 2, but would lose the final 2 games in controversial fashion, especially the referees making the mistakes and all that. Anyway, Joe Wallace, who would later go on to fame with Charlotte, was drafted by Sacramento in the first round. So yeah, Mike Bibby, Chucky Brown on the team, Doug Christie, former Raptor, Bibby, former Grizzly, Mateen Cleaves, former Michigan State star, Flighty Divac still kicking around after a stint with the Lakers and Hornets, Lawrence Vanderberg, Bobby Jackson, Scott Pollard, Brett Price, Peja Stojakovic, Hader Turkoglu, Gerald Walls, and Chris Webber. For the season, Sacramento won 61 games, tops in the division by 3 over those pesky LA Lakers. The Jazz were the 8th seed, way ahead of the Clippers, so Sacramento would face Utah as the 1 seed. And the playoffs happened. They lost game 2 at home to Utah, but won twice in Utah. Doing the job. Conference semifinals. They lost game 2 to Dallas, made 1-1, but then they won the next 3, so they did their job. And then the conference finals, game 6 happened. Well, they lost the first game. They won the next 2, lost game 4, thanks to that famous shot by Robert Horry as Kobe and Shaq. No, sorry, they lost. Yeah, Kobe and Shaq. Or was that 2000 when Horry did it? Oh, it was 2000 when Horry did it. Okay. That was 2002 when Horry did that 3-pointer. Anyway, they were up 3 games to 2 in LA. Some terrible officiating and all that. And then they lost in overtime in game 7. So good old Flatty Divac doing his job. In the playoffs, the main starters were Divac, Weber, Christie, and Bibby. Jackson start one game. Yeah. So yeah, game 6 was terribly officiated and all that. I say the stars for that. The Donaghy allegation. So Tim Donaghy was part of that game, and of course he had trouble with the gamblers. So Maybe he did throw that match. Who knows? Anyway, let's take a look at the what if. What if the Kings actually did win Game 7? So the Sacramento Kings would have beaten the Lakers and then take on the New Jersey Nets, who are the top team in the East. Of course, we leave the other conference alone. So Sacramento would start against the Nets. Game 1 sees the Kings win thanks to Webb's 22 points, 9 rebounds. Jason Kidd was 16, Kenny Van Horn was 16, Todd McCullough from Winterpeg with 11, Kenny Martin, Kerry Kittles there. Their bench, Richard Jefferson, Lucius Harris, Jason Collins, Aaron Williams, Anthony Johnson, and Brian Scalabrine, redhead. The 2002 Kings, 22 points for Webb, Christie with 13, Bibby with 14, Turkoglu with 15, Divac with 7. Page has 17 points off the bench in 29 minutes. Bob Pollard, Bobby Jackson, Lawrence Funderburg, and Gerald Wallace being your guys and all that off the bench. Game 2 sees the Nets beat the Kings in overtime next to Jason Kidd's triple-double. Kidd played 43 minutes and got 19 points. Kmart got 25. See the bench. The 2002 Kings, same thing. They went with a 10-man rotation. Page out, 13 points in 26 minutes. Christie, 9 points by 9 rebounds. Series tied, headed to New Jersey. It's a 2-3-2 format, so you'll see 3 straight New Jersey home games. And game 1 sees the Kings win thanks to Webb's 27 points, 14 rebounds. 27 for Weber. Christie only had 8 points. Page had 26 points in 25 minutes. So Page was a sharpshooter. Oh, yes, he was. Gerald Wallace, 8 minutes. Anyway, Kidd, 18 points. Pair of 17s. Lucius Harris, 10 points off the bench. Game 4. So Sacramento win. C-Web, 29 points, 13 rebounds, basically crushing them. Great job by Weber, 29 points. Turkoglu, 5 points. Unheard of. Page has 16 points in 30 minutes. Jabari Smith, Brad Price, Mateen Cleaves, and Chucky Brown, the understudies, would come in. The Nets would put their understudies. Reggie Slater, Steve Goodrich, Derek Dial, and Donnie Marshall. That's not Danielle Marshall. Wait, that's not the same Danielle Marshall who played for the Raptors, right? I think that's a different guy. Okay, different guy. As Basketball Reference is telling me. So, will the Kings win the series? In 5, the answer is yes, sir. C-Web does his job, and Chris Webber pulls off the NBA Finals MVP, and the Kings would have definitely crushed the Nets in 5 games. So Sacramento would have a championship to behold, and all that. Page has 17 points off the bench in 26 minutes. I know I could make him a starter instead of Turkoglu, but Turkoglu, I think, was better as a starter. 18 points by Kmart. They went through their bench, trying everything, every little thing, as cats are meowing in the background. But Sacramento wins the series in 5, so yeah, Sacramento would have had the championship right in their hands. Unbelievable, but not unheard of. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.